Alright, everybody. First, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the box for Darth Vader's chest box. I'm sure you guys might recognize this. This is a chest box that's used in the toy. It has the voice thing where you press the buttons right here and it will do a different sound, or you could talk into the microphone and it's supposed to change your voice. Well, because it really sucks ass, I just gutted it out and then I put in my own little housing units. They're not the best, but they work. So that way, for this little thing right here, you may not be here. I'll get out of the light here so you guys can see. This was probably the hardest thing I've ever made because I know nothing about circuitry. But I did a pretty shoddy job on the soldering, but I made sure I had plenty of room. So I color-coded the wires to the way I understood it. Anyways, we start with the 3 red lights. Those are supposed to be the lights for right here, for the coin slot lights. Okay? And the top and the bottom ones here, those 2 lights are red LEDs that stay on constantly. And I have it set up to where you got a resistor, capacitor, which is, I guess it's supposed to be kind of like a battery. It holds some power for a short amount of time, and a transistor. And I've got that for each one here. And I have it set up to this diagram. You got the power that comes in here and goes down these 4 lines. Alright? And each black dot is supposed to be a connection to the wires. And you got your LED lights. And then you also have your 2 feeds that come down to here, and the capacitor, or not capacitors, but the transistors are supposed to, or what create the flashing between the one and this one. Now, I modified this just a little bit. Basically what I did was I took for my power source right here, I have 2 9-volt batteries. Because this here is set up with 2 lights to work on 1 9-volt. But because I have a total of 5 lights, I set it up to use 2 9-volt batteries. So that way it's going on 18 volts. So I have the 2 power connections and then an on-off switch, which will go right there. And then the power feeds to the 2 white lights right here. Okay? So you can see power starts with this one, following the red line, goes in, and then comes back into this black line, down the red line, and then out to the black line to feed into the on-off switch, and then the red wire into here, and then goes to the first white light, constant white light, and then the next constant white light, and then this middle red one is actually a flashing red LED. It's not constant; it flashes on its own. Now, the reason why I had it do that is because instead of trying to figure out how to do one of these for 3 lights, is because while the two on the left and the right ones, as shown on the screen, will flash back and forth, kind of like railroad lights. And that one in the middle flashes at a different rate. So even though it moves kind of fast, it will sometimes blink at the exact same time as the bottom one, or at the same time as the top one, or will flash at a different time, kind of like Darth Vader's red lights do. And then the white lights here will be for these 2 right here. One's supposed to be blue, and one is supposed to be red. Keep in mind, I am going to be repainting this too because it's all the wrong colors. Alright, but to kind of get a look at how this works here, I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Make sure I'm at the off position. If I can get the cell phone to hold still for me, which I don't think it will. Bear with me, guys. It was not on the off position. There. Alright, now that I got these plugged in, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights. And voila. There it is. Those white ones are pretty bright. But the reason for that is because I don't have any resistors in front of it. Now I'm going to be using lithium batteries for this because lithium batteries last like 8 times longer than alkaline. These are just my test batteries. And then I also have 2 boxes I'm going to be working in. Here's the box right here. I'm going to be making those into the belt boxes, and I'll be making a video later about that. I got stuff needed right here for all that right here. So, on to the next thing I want to show you guys. The bodysuit. It's not 100% done, but it's very close. I actually created it into 2 parts instead of a full bodysuit. And there's not much light in this room. But here you kind of get a decent look at it. This is the shirt. I pretty much cut strips and sewn them back together. And it's supposed to be tight around the neck. So I ended up putting a little zipper on there. And I got a little flap to cover the zipper up when it's zipped. And then the pants. Again, same thing. They fit real nice too. And an area for me to put the belt in. I'm going to end up getting one of those belts, kind of like what you use for football, because that'll work the best. And the machine that I did it on. I actually used a different machine to start out with, but that went to hell, so I bought this one. And this one is older than I am. This is a 1970s Sears Kenmore sewing machine. But it's made out of cast iron there, so this thing is good. The belt has a tendency to kind of slip on the thick fabric, but it works. So, but there you have it. I'll have more coming to you when I get more done.